Hello! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming today. I'm really excited about today's video because it is something that means a lot to me. We're going to be talking about weight loss. Weight loss is something that I personally struggled with, and I know a lot of people do, and it's kind of one of those where I feel like there's a lot of myths around weight loss and things that don't actually work that people always say work, and it can be really frustrating when you feel like you're putting in 100% effort into losing weight but you're not seeing any results. So today's video is kind of going to try and just help you guys out, give you some tips, give you an understanding of how weight loss actually happens, and then also kind of go through my story and how I gained weight and how I lost it, and everything in between, because I know there's a lot of things that I wish I knew when I first started trying to lose weight, and there's things that I know I should be doing but I'm not doing, but regardless, I know there's a lot of great information out there, and I'm hoping to kind of put into a little summary for everybody. So if you haven't tried these big water bottles, I'm telling you, you're missing out. A little bit of background about me. I have always been super active. So my mom's a PT, she's super active, my dad's been active, my whole family's been very into sports, so I was always quite a thin, healthy kid. But then that all kind of changed when I started to hit puberty, and then also once I went to university. So if you haven't heard of the freshman 15 or freshers 50, it's basically where when you go into uni, you end up drinking so much alcohol, you end up eating crap, and a lot of people end up gaining weight, and that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't really notice it too much. I knew that I had gained a bit of weight, but I didn't think it was a massive amount, so I didn't really think to do anything about it. But I wasn't the most confident. I didn't really like my body, but because I knew what I needed to do to change it, I couldn't really be upset with myself because I wasn't doing anything to change the position I was in. So thankfully that's never led to me having any sort of really bad body insecurities. So I'm gonna insert a few photos right here of me kind of during uni, after uni, when I was kind of at my heaviest. And they're not my favorite photos, obviously, but I think it's really good to have those photos to look back on to see actually how much progress I've made, because I never used to think that I had gained that much weight, but it's only really now when I look back I can see the difference and how far I've come and how much I've actually been able to change my body. But I did know that I wanted to make a change, and I wanted to start eating healthier, and I wanted to do it. And because my mom's always been super healthy, she's always really instilled in me good eating habits and how to eat healthy and how to fuel your body. But obviously going to uni changed that, so I just didn't really, that wasn't a priority for me anymore. So my weight loss journey, it wasn't I just decided one day enough was enough and I was gonna get back onto being super active and super fit. It was a process. It took probably 4 years of just slowly starting to make better choices with my diet and trying to not just eat 3 pizzas a day. Not that I was doing that all the time, but I just started watching what I was eating and making sure that I was making healthier choices and trying to cut down on certain things without being overly restrictive, because I've always been super careful to not put myself in a position where I might have a bad relationship with food. So my understanding of how weight loss actually happens, there's a few different ways you can lose weight, but I think by far the most effective way you can lose weight is by being in a calorie deficit. So if you don't know what a calorie deficit is, it's basically where you're eating less than what your body is burning. So if say your body burns X amount of calories a day, if you're eating less than that, you're naturally going to start burning fat because your body needs to keep fueling your body and energizing your body, so it's going to have to find that energy source from somewhere. I like to think of weight loss as a fixed period where you have to eat healthy for only a certain amount of time. I just think that those types of fad diets and that type of mentality just won't last, and I think that's why I've managed to slowly lose weight over the years rather than just lose it all at once and then be at risk of putting it all back on, is because I've made more and more lifestyle changes. So I've just started making healthier habits and healthier choices gradually, and that's what I tell everybody. If you're wanting to start losing weight, you do not need to do it all at once. You don't need to go full you don't need to starve yourself, you don't need to restrict yourself too much, you don't need to do 1,000,000 hours in the gym every week. You just need to start. And it's really important as well, like, do not just like eliminate a group of foods, like a food group. Don't just cut out a food group because you've seen somebody online saying that. All of these like zero fat diets, zero carb diets, all of these, like, they're not sustainable, and a lot of them I feel like will have adverse effects, because your body actually needs all of these food groups to survive. Your fats, your carbs, and your proteins are your macros, and your body needs a certain amount of those to function properly. It's the same thing if somebody goes on like a no salt diet, or like they completely cut out sugar. Your body needs those things to survive. So I think like the first thing I'd say if you're trying to lose weight is spend a bit of time educating yourself about nutrition and like what your body actually needs and how the certain things you eat will impact your body's ability to function properly. And like that's something that I've really started doing only like literally about 2 weeks ago. So a few weeks ago I decided, like, you know what, I want to take my nutrition a bit more seriously, and I want to try and like really make sure I'm fueling my body without like, and just being a bit more mindful of what I'm putting into my body. And so in order to do that, I started tracking what I was eating, purely not as much for the calories, but purely so I could see like the amount of certain food groups I'm putting into me. And like I realized that I was not getting enough iron, I wasn't getting enough potassium, and those are two things that your body needs to survive. And a lot of people end up having iron deficiencies, which I would then say, please make sure you're taking a multivitamin every day, at least a multivitamin. There's a bunch of really great brands online. You don't need anything too fancy, you just need something that has like all the essential vitamins. I was about to ramble them off, I don't really know them off by heart, not a nutritionist. The thing I want to say as well is I think we live in a time right now where so many people are getting caught up on the number of the scale, and I understand why, because you can have a goal weight that you want to get to, but I am like the living, breathing example of why that is false. So the picture here of me is when I'm at my heaviest, which is about, I think, either 90 or 95 kg, and then the picture here is me now, and that's when I think right now I'm about 87 kilos. Such a small difference in terms of the actual number on the scale, but like the way that my body has changed, my body composition has changed completely, and that's just due to losing body fat but building muscle, and muscle weighs a lot more than fat does. So if you're constantly tracking the number on the scale and you're lifting weights and you're getting stronger, obviously the number's not going to go down too much, but it will. If you're focusing on the number on the scale, you might not actually realize how much progress you're making, and I think that's when it can become quite unhealthy. So I never recommend really weighing yourself like all the time. Like if you want to do like a weekly or monthly check-in, sure, do that, but I don't know, I try to stay away from weighing myself too much, just because I feel like anytime I have in the past, it's just led me to feel quite like down on myself, even though like I know that the number on the scale doesn't matter, but still that's managed to make me feel like I wasn't doing enough. So I would just be careful with that aspect of things. So going back to calories and how many calories you should be having, so it's really important to note that like what might work for me and what my calorie intake is and what my workout split is might work for my body, but that doesn't mean that it will work for you. So like me and you had the exact same amount of food every single day, the exact same workout routine, the exact same sleeping patterns, the exact same water intake, everything. We copied each other exactly. I can guarantee we would not look the same, because I have a different need to yours. The amount of calories I need per day are going to be different to yours because we just have different bodies, and that's like as simple as it is. 3 types of calorie intakes you can have. So there's your maintenance calories, which is just basically how many calories you need every day, and then there's your surplus of calories, and then there's your deficit of calories. So basically the deficit is obviously less than your maintenance calories, because if you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat underneath that maintenance. If you're trying to gain weight, you need to be eating above. So in order to find any of your caloric intake, you need to find your basal metabolic rate, or BMR. And this basically just tells you how many calories your body burns at rest. So if you do absolutely nothing all day, your body will burn a certain amount of calories regardless of what you're doing. And then anything you do on top of that will help you burn more. So for example, if you go for a 2-hour walk, you'll burn more calories that day, but your body will always burn at least a certain number. So I'm going to put a link in the description from my protein, and it just kind of gives a bit more information about how to calculate your calorie deficit, and it gives you your BMR and everything like that, which is really handy. So definitely go take a look at that. Now, there's one thing that I need to address, People love to spread the idea that doing a bunch of cardio will be the reason that you lose weight, and it annoys me for a lot of reasons, because it oftentimes leads beginners in fitness thinking that they need to do like an hour of cardio every single day or 2 hours of cardio every day if they want to lose weight, when it's just simply not the case. Cardio is great, it's a great exercise, and you need to have it in for your cardiovascular health, but it's not gonna make that big of an impact on losing weight. For example, in the times that I lost weight, I don't really do much cardio. I've only really started doing cardio in the past like 5 months. Like it's never been something I enjoyed, so I just haven't done it. I'm not saying don't do cardio, because like I said, it is really important for your cardiovascular health, but it's not gonna be like the make or break of whether or not you lose weight. So what happens is, say you do like a bunch of cardio in a workout, that cardio is gonna be very physically and mentally exhausting. So what'll end up happening is it'll tire you out, it'll make you super hungry, and then you'll want to eat afterwards, and then you'll probably end up wanting to eat a lot more than you would have if you hadn't have done the cardio. So, and the amount of calories the cardio burns is probably going to be less than what you're eating after doing the cardio, so it actually just really counteracts, and it might actually end up making you eat more than you would have if you hadn't done the cardio. This isn't me saying don't do cardio, but don't rely on cardio for weight loss. I think I'm gonna make my good friend Victor come help me.
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
So I put up a story box on my
Your story.
So I put up
You put a question book on your story.
I can't say it.
Yeah.
Thumbnails.
Yeah.
So I also put up a question box on my story a little while ago asking you guys to, ask me anything about weight loss, because I was going to be filming this video. And so I'm going to have Victor read out the questions for me. Yeah, let's go.
It says, I'm going to the gym, working out hard, stopped fast food, but I'm unable to see any difference in my weight.
Kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to answer that without knowing exactly what the number of calories you're having per day is, because it really kind of comes down to a calorie deficit. But I want to say, like, as I kind of said in the beginning of the video, it's really important to know that, like, that in itself is a very big step. So, like, just getting started is the hardest part. So, like, cutting out fast food, that's a great step as well. And going to the gym is a great step. You just need to, once you build that first foundation, you just need to start building up more on that. But I would say if you're not seeing any real results, it's probably because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. But don't restrict yourself too much if you want to have a McDonald's sometimes.
It's also the time as well. Like,
yeah.
The time it takes. You didn't really say the time that...
Yeah, that's true. Like, it takes a while. Like, yeah. my weight loss journey literally was like 4 years. I mean, then again, I wasn't really like actively trying to like lose weight constantly, but it was just a process, and it takes time to see results.
Yeah, like sometimes you can gain more weight before you start to like strip the weight. Yeah.
That's true.
So second question says, food suggestions for those who are picky eaters but want to lose weight.
Me! I'm telling you, I am such a picky eater, and that's what made it really hard to lose weight. But I think like the best thing I can say is just like find things you like. And I eat the same thing pretty much every day. Like I love eggs, and I like little sausages. Hot sauce, love hot sauce. So like I just find staple meals that I can make, and I can make them quickly. And then I just stick to that. And things as well which also help is meal prepping. So like meal prep has been one of those things. Anytime I've seen like significant changes in my body and my weight, it's always been because I've been able to meal prep, because it just stops me from making silly choices. I will put my hands up. If I'm hungry and there's nothing for me to eat, I will probably order food. And that's when I start eating a lot more than I probably mean to be, because I also lie to myself a bit in actually how much I'm eating.
What's the most, I don't get this one, it says, what's the most important component?
The most important component of weight loss, I would 100% say diet. I will preach this from the rooftops, but as my mother always says, weight loss is 80% diet and 20% gym. So like going to the gym definitely does help, but like if you have a trash diet and you eat horribly all the time, like you're never going to lose the weight, and you're never going to make those changes. And it's the same thing as like you can see very, very great results without going to the gym. but it's because you're eating well and fueling your body. And I think as well, one thing when it comes to weight loss is not necessarily thinking of it as directly like I need to lose weight to look like a certain way. Like reframing it to be like, I want to fuel my body better. And I know everybody says this, and I never used to think this. Like I always used to just be like, whatever, fuel your body, whatever. But now I'm like, okay, actually, like when you do eat better, you feel better, and then you want to go to the gym more, you want to do certain things. But yeah.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like, if you put your mind to doing it, it's like when it's like that thing where it's like, if you're walking on the road and you like look at the place that you're going to go, the steps are going to be like left and right, you understand? But if you just focus on the next step. How long did it take for you to see results from your routine?
That is a good question. I don't know if they mean like weight loss or like workout.
Yeah.
So there's a few factors that will affect how quickly you see results with, say, like just purely from the gym or just from weight loss. So you need to make sure that you're being like effective with your workouts. So if you're trying to grow a certain muscle, you need to be doing workouts that really actually hit the muscle you're trying to do. Training to failure, so you're actually really exhausting the muscle, but then you also need to make sure that you're fueling the muscle to be actually able to grow. Because how muscle growth works is every time you work out, you're ripping the muscle apart. You're having a bunch of micro tears all around the muscle, and then when it heals and recovers, it gains back together, and it's the proteins that you eat and the carbs that actually help it build stronger, and that's what makes it bigger. I don't know if you really enjoyed this part, but like, yeah. In answer to your question, I don't know. I don't know how long. I'm still working towards my like goal body, I guess, so I don't really think so, but it usually takes, to see results, I'd say give it like a good few months.
So like, when did you start and when did you?
I started taking the gym seriously probably like 2 years ago, but I didn't start like actively planning my workouts with specific goals in mind until like the past year. So I don't know if that helps.
Okay. And then you can put in your like 2 years ago to now picture.
Progress!
What do you think about cheat meals?
I love it. Sorry, wait. This is, I don't know, okay. The thing with cheat meals is obviously, yes, it's a cheat meal. So there's a stronger possibility that you're going to be eating above your maintenance and probably in a calorie surplus, which means you probably won't lose weight that day. But in the grand scheme of things, just because you have one bad meal, like, it doesn't mean you're going to like gain weight. Like you might feel different, and like that's where the body dysmorphia will come in, because like sometimes like I will eat like a bad meal and I'll feel like a nasty girl, and I will feel super bloated, I'll feel like really just like disappointed with myself, but in reality, if I actually take a photo of my body before eating it and after, and then like the day after, I look the exact same. So have a cheat meal every now and then. Don't restrict yourself too much. Life is short, you know what I mean?
Do I need to take supplements, and which ones?
My opinion on supplements and anything like that is they are not necessary. You do not need them, so like don't make anybody feel like you have to, and if you don't have them, you won't get your goals. You will reach your goals, it'll just take you a bit longer. So the purpose of supplements and protein powders and anything along those lines is it enhances what your body's already doing. So like, for example, with creatine, I've recently started taking creatine. I was skeptical for a while because I hadn't really actually done any research. At the end of the day, creatine basically just helps complete energy molecules that are already in your system, but if they're not completed, so if they don't have all 3 phosphates, they can actually be used. Therefore, creatine basically just helps give you more energy, quicker recovery time, and yeah, so it's not something that you need, but it helps. I would say though, like, protein powder is something that I would kind of recommend, just because it can be very difficult to hit your protein goals. Like, even me having a protein shake every day, I still struggle to hit my protein goals, so it's just a very easy and quick way to get those proteins in. And the thing as well is, once you've worked out, your muscles are like, they're probably like the 45 minutes to an hour after you've worked out is the prime time where your muscles start repairing themselves, and that's when you really need to get a quick dose of protein in, because it helps just bind everything back together a lot quicker. And it also helps with delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, if you know me. But yeah.
I think, what about pre-workout?
Oh! Pre-workout.
Yeah.
I love pre-workout, if I'm being honest. Do I think you'd need it? No. Do I kind of wish I never started taking it? I don't know. Like, I can have a good workout without it.
I think once you take it, it's very hard to go back to, like, if you're not very, like, inclined to work out. You understand? Like, if you want to work out and you don't really have the energy, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it gives you that energy, and then you're just like, you know what, I need to use up this energy, so you go and work out.
Yeah.
But if you already have a lot of energy, it's probably not best to.
I think as well, it depends on what time of the day you work out, because, like, for example, we work out like very early in the morning, so having that like quick like surge of energy in the morning when we need to be up and active is very helpful. But like, if you're going to the gym at 10 p.m, I wouldn't suggest taking pre-workout, because pre-workout is essentially just like a very concentrated amount of caffeine that goes straight into you, and it just like makes you so sorry about that. So if you're taking it too late at night, you're obviously gonna be like wired for a while.
It could also help, like, if people are working, you understand?
Yeah, people are, you know what, actually, when I like, because I buy all my pre-workout pretty much solely from Amazon, because I don't know, I like next day delivery. And a lot of the reviews are actually from people who work and are like, oh, it's a lot cheaper than buying energy drinks, so I just buy a pre-workout to get me through my night shifts. Love it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
How do you deal with plateaus if you ever experience them?
I experience plateaus all the time. Whether or not that's because I'm actually plateauing or because I'm not wanting to put in enough effort, I don't know. But I think the main plateau people see is once you first start working out or you first start losing weight. I'll go into the two of those separately. So like, when you first start working out, your body's not used to it. So like, you're shocking your body constantly. Your muscles are constantly like, what is happening? So you're gonna make a lot of gains very quickly. And then once your body starts to get used to what you're doing, it's like, all right, I see you. You're not gonna make as many gains as quickly, and that's when people kind of get into this plateau, and that's when a lot of people stop and they quit because they stop seeing the progress. It's the same thing with like weight loss, or like when you're trying to lose fat specifically. If you have a very large amount of body fat, it's going to be a lot easier to lose that fat when you first start working out, because when people start with a lot more body fat on them, they usually find it easier to lose that initial bit of body fat. And then once you start getting down to a more like sustainable weight, it becomes harder and harder and harder to lose those last few pounds or those last few like bits of body fat that you want to get rid of, which is why a lot of people struggle with like when they're not necessarily overweight, but they have a certain body in mind, but they can't really figure out how to get to that body.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even really plateaus. It's more like you don't really see the progress, but other people will see it as well. So you're like thinking you're plateauing, but it's actually that's definitely one I think as well. Like that's why I'd say progress photos are literally your best friend, because just staring at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, because if you don't have anything to compare it to, like you genuinely won't know like what you have. Because like even me, like compared to a year ago, like I a lot of the time think I have like a very similar body. But then if I actually look at photos, this bit of hair is driving me nuts. If I actually look at photos of me from like this time last year, it's not like massive changes, but you can definitely see that my waist has just come in a little bit more. My back's gone out, like little things like that. A little boondock. Like that.
It's not related, but I always feel like my form isn't right and I get insecure and it's bad.
I feel that. That was me it still is, like when I try new exercises, I'm a little nervous. The only thing I would say to like help not feel like not confident, like is practice at home. Like is if you can practice the movements at home that you're going to be doing in the gym, it just makes things a little bit easier. So I still remember, like, when I first started out, I would kind of just like go through my workout routine, and I would just look at myself in the mirror to make sure it looked okay. Another thing I would say, and I know not many people want to do this, but film your workouts. Even if you just go to a quiet corner and you just film your workouts, you can see the difference in form. And I'm going to put a video here of me doing a barbell row where I thought my form was popping. Not good. And then I looked at the video back in the gym and I was like, okay, clearly that's not really actually working the muscles I want it to. I changed it and it looks better.
And I think another thing about being a newbie at the gym is like your form is never always going to be correct, especially if you're going on your own.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing of like starting out at the gym, like everything's progress, isn't it? So like
yeah,
you start with bad form, you correct your form bit by bit, especially
yeah, don't let anybody like make you feel like you shouldn't be there because you don't really know how to do an exercise correctly. Like,
because there's even like seasoned people that just in the gym just doing crazy stuff. So.
I see some form sometimes when I'm in the gym and I'm like, sir, do your thing, I guess. Oh, my earrings come out.
The things, it's like if you look at it at home, look at the form on TikTok, practice it at home, and then when you go to the gym, it's kind of like just doing the exact
It's a learning curve. Like eventually you'll kind of realize what feels right, and you might find out that you've been doing an exercise like not wrong, but like there's slight tweaks you can make to make it a lot more effective, but that just comes with time.
How to get motivated? I'm desperate.
This is a tricky one. This is honestly probably one of my like most frequently asked questions, is how to stay motivated, and I just can't say it enough. Like, I'm like, while yes, there are days where I'm really motivated, but for the most part it's not motivation, it's just habit. So there's a lot of great books you can read actually on habits, but let me not get into it. I'll link them below. But it's true, like if you want to start working out, I wouldn't say start going to the gym 5 times a week. I would say start going like for once. Just go once, stretch for a bit, enjoy yourself, and then work out again. But I think the key as well is always to like make sure you're doing things that you enjoy, especially at the beginning. Yeah, so sorry my camera died. So how to get motivated to start going to the gym, I would definitely say go with a friend if you can. Not everybody can. Like, I know I didn't really have any friends to start with, so I just had to kind of get on with it.
Find a gym that you like as well.
Yeah, find a gym where you feel comfortable, and I think the main thing is like I know a lot of women are really scared to start lifting weights and going into the weight room because it can be really daunting. So I always just say, like, the first time you go to the gym, just go in, walk around, go find a place, just do some stretches and then leave, and like just like make it small so you don't have to feel like you need to be in the gym for like 3 hours. But like if you go for 20 minutes, do a few stretches and just feel happy with yourself for doing that.
The thing to stay motivated is like, if you can, find a gym that's on your route to to work.
Yeah.
So like, it's like if you need to learn something, keeping it out.
Yeah.
So like every time that you go past it, you're like,
yeah.
And then like taking your clothes to work.
Yeah.
Like gym clothes to work or.
Definitely. And like planning your workout before planning your outfit, like.
Yeah. Like little things that will make you like excited to go, like you do like the night before. You're like,
I plan my outfit.
If you want to go, then you plan your outfit and you're like, oh, I'm so excited to wear this outfit.
It's true. True. And be comfortable in the gym. That's a big thing. Like, if you aren't comfortable with the clothes that you're wearing in the gym, it becomes a lot harder to feel confident while doing the workouts. So like there's certain days where I won't wear like a super tight top because I don't like the way I feel in it when I'm working out, and wearing a baggy top solves those issues.
Like most of the time, even with guys, like you just like I only just figured out the whole hoodie thing, and it's like a lot of the time nobody's really looking at you.
No.
You understand? Like there has always been somebody like you in that position. So like I always think like if somebody else has done it, then like I can do it as well. You understand? It's just
everybody starts somewhere.
Everybody starts somewhere. So I weigh 56 kg. Do I first have to lose weight before building muscle?
I just choked a bit. No. I think like there's a few different ways you can approach it. Like at the end of the day, you can do kind of what you want. It depends on what your goals are, but you can lose fat. I think you mean, do you want to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time? I think it's possible. You just need to be in a slight calorie deficit to help your body burn the extra calories, and then just be fueling yourself correctly to get enough like protein, carbs, and fats in order to like fuel the muscle growth. So
there's no exact formula on how to like lose weight.
No.
Understand? You can always like you said, even with the ab thing, like you can build abs, or like you can build muscle under the fat, or you can like just cut out all the fat and then build a muscle on it.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing, especially with like abs is a really good example. Like similar to my opinions on cardio, it's the same thing with like abs. A lot of people think like if you do like 1,000 sit-ups every day, you will have a six-pack. You may have a six-pack. Unless you get the proper nutrition, your abs aren't going to show. I am a prime example of this.
Yeah, crazy core.
Yeah, like I have a very, very strong core. Not to, I have a very strong core, but you can't see my abs. Do you want to? They're not there, but that doesn't matter. You know, I would like them to be there, but they're not because I'm just not doing what I need to be doing. Whatever.
Just like showed your ass to the camera.
Or lack thereof. No, but it's true. Also, don't be afraid to train your core if you don't have a six-pack. I know I was for ages. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Honestly, all of your support means the world to me. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments or send me a DM. My DMs are always open. But yeah, you got this. If you're starting your weight loss journey or in the middle of your fitness journey, just remember, be kind to yourself, love yourself for who you are, and like don't try and be somebody that you're not. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps me out. A little wink. And yeah, I will put my social links in the description, and yeah, have the best day ever. Stay sexy, drink your water, and
peace.
Peace.